Welcome to the podcast. I'm your host Prastuti and we have a special guest today. Please introduce us.
Hello everyone, I'm Shuvangi, the chair of Legislative Parliament 2.
Hello, my name is Shubhayu and I am the moderator of Legislative Parliament 3. I am very glad to be here.
So you have been quite a journey from being a delegate debating in the committee to now supervising them. How has been so far?
I think for me it's been really overwhelming because I was the delegate of the same legislative parliament 2 years back, and it feels really overwhelming that today I am the one guiding in the same committee that I belonged to 2 years ago, and of course the responsibility is more than ever now, and it feels just too amazing to be there, but at the very same time I'm too anxious about being the chair.
So when you go from a delegate to the dais panel, the perception entirely shifts. Like when you are a delegate, you have to research. Suppose you are in the international committee and you have to research about so many countries, and you have to research about your country and how you are going to defend your country. Now that you are the dais panel, it is so frustrating than becoming a delegate, because you also have to research for the delegates themselves, and also you have to guide them through each and every steps, because they are so new to the TESMUN itself, because they are just 8th graders and they are just introducing to the TESMUN. So dais panel is should be always working hard, and they have to make everything, make study guides and positions, paper samples and everything, and it is really hard, but it is amazing.
Yes. That's amazing. Yeah.
Plus it feels like I wish I could be the delegate back again, with just the frustration we have being the dais sometimes.
And I hope we can really guide them amazingly, and the delegates look up to us.
With great powers comes great responsibility. I can relate that. So can you provide a brief insight into your committee? How is the discussion going on? How is the crisis? How are the delegates? Are you cooperating with them?
Okay, so in our committee, the delegates are talking, but sometimes they are really passive. So even in moderated caucus, most of them don't talk. The one who are really confident inspires other delegates to talk as well, but most of them really don't talk. But sometimes we get really active committee, and I am always happy to see everybody shouting and debating and expressing their opinions. The dais panel is also really hard, who to choose. They are discussing who to choose when moderated caucus is going on, but in GSLs they don't really question and comment to the speaker, and that really is frustrating. Also in crisis, they always scream and shout whenever there comes an update, which is so fun and amazing, and I really am happy that every delegate is having fun. But I really hope we progress towards making the committee more active.
And for the Legislative Parliament 2, our committee is like a roller coaster. In the very beginning, you would start in a very slow pace. It was the most passive committee you'll find in TESMUN 2024. But then again, once the moderated caucus had begun, they just blew up, and the whole committee was in fire, and everybody wanted to speak up. It was such a hard job for us dais to choose who to pick, and because they would just come up, if we do not give them a chance to speak, they would just go the dais is biased. However, and then again, once the moderated caucus, they have talk everything about the research, then the committee goes passive, and then again we dais, we again come up to them, then we try to cooperate with them, and we just make them aware what they can speak up, and then again they talk. But comparatively with other committee, I will say that it's a bit unfortunate that our delegates do not really want to open with the whole committee. However, during the crisis, the foolish story they just come up with during the crisis, it just makes us burst into laughter. And talking about the GSL, I think we have a very good questioning and commenting during the GSLs.
Also in the first session, like it was really going so well, but like when the second session came, like there was no research at all, and I was like, what is this, you know? And the second day of the second session, like everybody brought their research and like participated, but I was so disappointed that the second session's committee was passive.
So as you mentioned, some of the delegates only read from the research. They have a sheet of research and they just read that only. So how do you try to avoid that situation as a DIAS panel?
So for me, like most of the delegates have been asking me questions on how to like make questions when like commenting and like accusing the other delegates, and I have been trying to help them by like giving examples on how to like make the questions, and also that like we have in like the feedback session we have been like commenting on like the delegates have like been reading off of the research and they should like come up with more amazing questions, and we have like there is a delegate who like uses both their logic and research and questions amazingly, and we have been using the delegate as the example.
And for my committee, I think there are delegates who read out from their research paper, but there are mostly delegates who do not read out from their research, rather they just talk with the logic that comes up in their mind, and I think that's a good point. However, definitely me, including my beautiful vice chair and moderator, of course they help me every time the delegates have problem with it, and they're always like questioning us, and of course we have sent a lot of files regarding how they can research in the Google Classroom we have, and we motivate them to, rather than reading out from the sheet of paper, we encourage them to say like skim through the research paper, then speak the research or facts out.
So in your opinion, who is the best delegate? Like what attribute do they have?
The best delegate is someone who like who does collaboration and have leadership skills, and the best delegate is also who is really confident, so confident that they inspire the other delegates to stand up and speak up. The delegate who uses both their logic and research, and delegate who is the most in discipline and like really follows the MN procedures, because like MN procedure is what makes the committee successful. And also the best delegate for me is someone who like has great research and has great logic. So yeah.
So for me, I think for one to be the best delegate, they should definitely first be the best listener, because the best listener is the one who has the ability to speak up, defend, and secondly comes is the confidence and research. I cannot say confidence is more needed than research, because even if you have confidence, if you do not have research, you are not going to reach anywhere. And what I saw this year is that delegates, they have this perception built up within themselves, like if someone is in the committee and they're just speaking anything they want but with arrogance, and they're shouting at other delegates, then they are the best delegate. But I think every delegate should be aware that just because someone is shouting and like telling anything they want with just the logic, it doesn't make them the best delegate. For one to be the best delegate, they must speak facts, because if you have facts speaking, then no one will be able to question you, right? So because of which, I think for one to be the best delegate, first they should be the best listener, then they should have confidence and research, and finally they should be able to collaborate. What I saw in my committee is that like the delegates, they do not want to collaborate with other delegates because they think their marks will be taken away by others. But for MUN to be a successful program, they must collaborate with one another.
So we have noticed, if we compare the international committee with the national committee is rather passive. So do you think it's because the delegates are not experienced enough, or do you think they lack the research, or do you think they lack the knowledge about the Nepali politics?
So for me, talking from my experience, when I was first introduced to Moon, I was in grade 8. Our batch was unfortunate that we did not get to experience Moon in grade 7 because of COVID-19. However, when we came to grade 8 and experienced Moon, and then in grade 9 when we were in international committee, I think we all spoke better in grade 9 as an international delegate, because we were first timers in grade 8, but when we came to grade 9 we had experience from 3 sessions during the grade 8, and that there has helped us to become better in the international committee. However, for this year, what I think is the delegates, they aren't really well known to how to research properly. So yes, experience plus the lack of techniques to research, I think, is pulling them backwards. However, the delegates are giving their best and we appreciate their efforts.
Talking about myself, so even when I was in 8th grade, I was really new to this whole TESMUN program. I didn't even knew what TESMUN was. So the DIAS panel really helped me and helped me overcome my fear of speaking among my classmates and other people. The reason behind why the National Committee is more passive than International Committee is because of both points you stated, because of lacking of experience and lacking of good research. So research is at the heart of MAN session, and it really carries out the whole committee. Without research, you can't communicate and debate well. So also when you are really new to TSMU and you don't know anything, you don't know any MUN procedures, and it is really scary and you may become anxious when talking, and I think it is because of that the delegates are really don't know how to talk and are really passive right now in the National Committee. In the International Committee, there are so many countries, right? And there are there are so many information found in the internet about those countries and the politics of the countries and everything related to the countries. But for Nepali politics, there isn't much research in the internet as well. Also, they really don't know how to research. They have been using AI and other kind of stuffs like that. I think it would be better if they research from official sites, and so that is why I think the National Committee is more passive than international.
So we are now going to the rapid fire round. So we have a few set of questions you have to answer.
Okay.
So when did Moon start at the Excelsior School?
2012.
Yeah, that's correct. It was 2.5 years ago. So what's the full form of HRC?
Human Rights
Yes,
Council.
Yes.
I was in the same committee.
Which team has the most member?
Logistics.
Press team.
Yeah, it's press team. We have 130 students,
Oh,
including the
that's
grade
a
7.
lot.
So we have now MCQ questions. Debating or moderating?
Definitely debating.
I think both. It is fun.
But if you had to choose one,
Um,
would you rather be a
moderating.
dais or a delegate?
I would rather be a DIAS because it is so fun guiding all the delegates and helping them build up the confidence.
But it's frustrating at the same time because you have to do so
Yeah,
much
but
research.
that is what it makes it fun, right?
So crisis or moderated caucus?
Definitely crisis, because delegates come up with so much of
Yeah.
their creative ideas.
For me, even though crisis is really fun, I think moderated caucus is definitely my favorite.
So let's wrap up the podcast with the message from the DIAS panel.
So to all the delegates who are watching this podcast, there is one thing that I as a chair would like to say you all, that we all love you so much and we are not biased at all. And the other thing is there are so many students throughout the whole country who do not even get to know what MUN is throughout their whole life, but you're fortunate enough that you're introduced to such a big platform like MUN at such a young age. So take this as a huge opportunity, work for it, and do not get demotivated. Do not give up, and if you work hard, definitely you will get what you deserve.
Dear delegates, TESMUN is like not just a simulation but an immersive learning experience for you all. It is a huge opportunity for all of you. Like not everybody gets the opportunity of participating in Model United Nations, and it really helps you gain so many skills like leadership skills, critical thinking skills, like negotiation skills, public speaking skills, so many skills. And if you actually take TESMUN seriously, I think you can really be in the position that we are in right now. And also, like, don't be nervous at all debating. Like, the dais is not gonna judge you at all. Also, like, we are here to guide you and like facilitate the MUN procedure, and we will help you throughout this whole session. So don't be nervous at all. Like even when I was the delegate, I was like, I finally talked in my final session in LP3, and it was so fun, and I literally promised myself that I would talk in like 9th grade in international committee. And now that I'm in DIAS panel, I really hope that you take me as an inspiration and like talk, debate, and express your opinions freely, because nobody here is going to judge you at all.
And it's never led to stars, so because nothing is better something is better than nothing. I'm so sorry. Yes. So give your best.
Also, the goal here is not just to debate and like defend your position, and it is also like the goal is also to like come up with a resolution. So keep that in mind, delegates.
So that concludes the podcast. Thank you for giving your time.
Thank you. Bye, delegates.